She whispered one sentence under her breath, and 90 days later, her entire life transformed. This is a real manifestation story that will give you chills. What if everything you thought was impossible suddenly became real? What if the life you secretly daydream about, freedom, love, abundance, purpose, wasn't a fantasy, but a preview? In this video, you'll hear a true story. A story so incredible, so deeply emotional, and so wildly inspiring that it might just awaken something in you. This isn't a theory. This isn't a think positive story. This is the real-life journey of a woman who had nothing and manifested everything. Her name is Eliana, and her story will give you chills. Eliana's story begins in the heart of winter. Her power had been shut off for 3 days. She wore 2 coats inside her small studio apartment in Detroit. Her hands trembled, not from the cold, but from the weight of everything. She had just lost her 3rd job in 5 months. Her car was being repossessed, and the eviction notice, it was taped to her door. She hadn't spoken to her mother in over a year. Her friendships had faded, and the man she thought would marry her ghosted when her life started to crumble. "I had nothing left," Eliana later said. "No savings, no backup plan, no hope. I felt invisible." But here's the twist. On one of the coldest nights of her life, she pulled out an old journal from a thrift store. On the first page, she wrote, "I don't know how, I don't know when, but I'm going to change my life. Watch me." Eliana began doing something she'd never done before. She spoke to her future self. She wrote letters to the version of herself who had already succeeded. Every night, she'd whisper, "Thank you for my beautiful life. Thank you for the warm home. Thank you for the abundance. I can feel it coming." First, it felt fake, but slowly, she started to believe it. She discovered Neville Goddard. She read about the law of assumption. She started scripting. Every night, she visualized herself walking into her dream apartment, cooking meals, laughing with friends, traveling. And the one sentence she said every morning, "I remember when I used to struggle, but not anymore." She didn't know how it would work. She just knew. She couldn't go back. 3 weeks later, something happened. Eliana got a DM from a woman she had met 2 years earlier at a workshop. "Hey, I know this is random, but are you still doing freelance design work? I have a project for you." It wasn't much, $250, but it was enough for groceries, enough for electricity, enough to feel like the universe had heard her. That one project led to a referral, then another, but something even bigger began to happen. Her mindset was shifting. She stopped saying, "I'm broke." She started saying, "I'm becoming wealthy." She stopped begging. She started expecting. And every single night, she closed her eyes and lived inside her dream. Manifestation isn't just about getting what you want. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be. And Eliana, she was transforming. She faced the beliefs that had kept her small. "I'm not good enough. People like me don't live abundant lives. I always get abandoned." She wrote them down, cried over them, burned the paper, and she replaced them with new truths. "I am deeply worthy. I am chosen. I am safe to receive." The more she shifted inside, the more the outside began to reflect it. She found an old savings account her grandmother had started for her, $1,142. She used it to pay off her most pressing debts and buy a refurbished laptop. "It felt like the universe was catching me," she said. 67 days after her first journal entry, Eliana got a message from a design agency. "We're looking for a part-time remote designer. Found your portfolio. Are you interested? The pay? For $1,000 per month. Remote, flexible, purpose-driven. She screamed, cried, laughed all at once. But the moment that will give you chills was what happened next. She found an apartment listing, exactly what she had scripted. Exposed brick, big windows, in her budget, available now. She toured it the next day, and when she walked in, she gasped. On the living room wall, painted in gold script, were the words, "Watch me," the same words she had written on page 1 of her journal. Today, Eliana lives a life she once could only beg the universe for. She mentors other women. She teaches journaling, energy work, and manifestation. She travels often, speaks at retreats, has a partner who adores her, and the biggest gift, peace of mind, peace in her heart, a deep knowing that she did this, not through luck, not by waiting, but by becoming, by embodying, by remembering who she was, and refusing to live any other way. Soft music, visuals of a journal page turning, stars over a mountain. You might not be Eliana, but if you've watched this far, I believe you're exactly where she once was, on the edge of something incredible. So tonight, open a notebook, whisper to the universe, "I don't know how, I don't know when, but I'm going to change my life. Watch me." You have no idea how powerful that sentence might be. The universe is always listening. Now it's your turn. Start your story, and one day, we'll be telling yours. If Eliana's story moved you, comment below. It's already happening for me. Download your free manifestation starter journal link in the description. Subscribe and turn on notifications for more real stories that transform lives.